Do you enjoy working from home? There's a lot to love about it. You don't have to commute to the office every day, you can get your chores done on your breaks, and you still get full pay and benefits from working from the comfort of your own home. But like most things in life, working from home isn't perfect. Today, we will be looking at the disadvantages of working from home. I'm Rai Jahari here with Jotform. Let's get into it. One of the biggest disadvantages to working from home is the distractions. Working from home requires a lot more discipline than working in the office. When at home, you don't get to sit and chat with your coworkers about upcoming projects, and your manager can't stop by your desk to check and make sure you are doing your work. Plus, you could be home with your family, which can cause a lot of distractions. You need to hold yourself accountable when working from home. Working this way may come naturally to some people, but others find it difficult to stay on task without someone else holding them accountable. That is why it is important to set up in your home without distractions so that you can work. This can be a home office or a corner in your kitchen. It's also a good idea to give yourself a list of goals to achieve for the day. Then check off items as you finish them. Goal setting works well because these goals motivate you, encourage you to persist, and they direct your attention to the behaviors you need to exhibit to be successful. The next disadvantage is that it can be hard to stay on top of communication when working from home. It can be hard to naturally connect with your team when you are not in person. So, rather than talking to coworkers directly, you're now relying on tools and apps to communicate with your team. Sometimes this can result in you missing important notifications whenever you step away from your phone or computer. To combat this, make it a habit to review all of your notifications after you step away from work, and not just the most recent ones. And if you aren't getting any notifications, check the settings on your device or do a quick Google search to troubleshoot the problem. Then, at the start of every project, set clear guidelines for your team so that everyone understands their roles and responsibilities. This will allow everyone to communicate better because they know what the end goal is. Another disadvantage is that it's harder to hold yourself to a schedule when working from home. Making the schedule is not usually the hard part. Actually, keeping to the schedule is the challenging part. It can be tempting to stay in bed longer or postpone a difficult task when working from home. The easiest way to combat this is by creating a routine and sticking to it. One study shows that workers who follow a concrete routine are more likely to submit ideas at work. If this is too challenging, begin by setting boundaries for yourself. Take the time to exercise, shower, and eat breakfast before work. Do the things that you would normally do before leaving for the office. Do what works best for you and make a habit by integrating it into your daily routine. The next disadvantage is loneliness. Even though we are all using different apps and devices to keep us digitally connected, it can't replace the true, authentic connections made from working in person. Working from home means that you don't get to casually talk with your coworkers. This can form a disconnect when you don't get to see your team face to face. You can still form meaningful connections online through Slack channels and video chats. Start by creating a casual chat channel on Slack. This can be used for nothing but miscellaneous chats with your team. This provides a space for you and your coworkers to talk about things that aren't work-related. You can even set up a digital happy hour with your team. A big disadvantage to working from home is that you don't have as many resources in your house than you would in the office. Your capacity for productivity is different when working on a laptop at home rather than on a desktop with dual monitors and a studio printer. If the equipment you're working with isn't sufficient, talk to your manager about it. They may be able to provide you with the tools that you need to be more productive. Another disadvantage is needing to comply with your company's IT policies. Chances are you don't have access to the same security controls working from your own laptop, phone, and Wi-Fi connection as you do using company equipment. Every company has their own security measures in place, and using personal equipment can expose the rest of your company to potential hackers and malware. To mitigate the risk, use a VPN, avoid public Wi-Fi, and comply with your IT's guidelines. And our final disadvantage is setting boundaries. Working from home creates a blurry line between your work and personal life. It can be challenging to clock out when your work laptop is right on your kitchen table. Working from an office makes this much easier, since you have to physically leave the building and go home. Since there is no boundary between work and home, you may feel obligated to jump on a work call after hours just because you can. It's important to keep in mind that your personal time is just as crucial when working from home, because it helps you to avoid burnout. You can best protect your personal time by turning off notifications when you're off the clock. Let your team know about your office hours and stick to them. If you work outside of those office hours, it will become expected of you. Okay, let's review. We've discussed 7 disadvantages to working from home. Working from home makes you prone to more distractions, and it can be hard to stay on top of your communication. It can also be challenging to hold yourself to a schedule, and you may even feel lonely. Working from home also requires you to be more resourceful, comply with your company's IT policies, and set firm boundaries between your work and home life. While these disadvantages can be hard to overcome, it's not impossible. I hope you found the advice today to be helpful. Thank you for watching. I'm Raid here with Jotform. Have a great day.